Hello, and welcome to Power Levels. I'm excited to teach you how to be aware of the subconscious, ongoing interplay between people that doesn't matter if they are older, younger, male, female, gender, there is an interplay. And to make it simple, you're either on the top or the bottom. If you are on top, you are a big brother or big sister. A big brother or big sister is someone who is more congruent in an area than you. You would give them your problems with an expectation they could help or solve them. And if you are a little brother, little sister, then your expectation is to have people solve your problems in their relationships. So, where are you at in this totem pole? I teach you do not want to be at the top. It's the loneliest place. If everybody in your life is a little brother or a little sister, then you have the least ability to be authentic yourself. Each person you know already has signs and ways that they talk to you to guide you that you are at one level or another. So, in my past, I had a time that I had a company where we helped find housing. And when I sold the company, I would help the new owner with the calls that were the free calls from people that couldn't afford housing. And I loved helping them. I didn't charge anything for it. And then in my own business, was taking calls from CEOs that were looking to buy a business. I was brokering, and the calls would be different. One call, someone would hand me all of their problems, income, personal information. They would give it to me immediately to help them solve it. It wasn't special to me that they did that. They would have called someone else and given it to them. The CEOs, they were more guarded. They were wanting to see if I was safe before they would share any information with me to help them buy a business. They did not want to give me their problems unless they were sure I was safe. So, this is the world, and more people are little brothers and little sisters. I was at a conference once, and there were a man and a woman to the right and left of me. I was talking about improving my business. And when we were given an exercise to what was the chokehold in your business, I had a full blown breakthrough. I talked about everything, I gave them all my problems. When I was finished, I found out that the man had 5 businesses in different industries, and the woman was a franchise owner, and she had like 4 offices. My problems did not involve the word wow to these people. They were both big brother and big sister to me. It was an oak tree feeling, the best feeling, that I was safe, protected, nothing impressive about my biggest problem to them. The next group I went in, I felt different. I felt that I was the oak tree. We had a similar exercise. There was a man to my right, a man to my left, and to them, I listened. If there was anything I heard, it didn't make me feel like wow, and I didn't open up that way. It felt better to be around big brother and big sister. It's the vibe you get when you go to your grandparents' house and you're safe, you're taken care of. So I want you to know that people naturally will give their problems up with an expectation for people to solve them, not just emotional venting. Problems go up, but we hero down. I owned a building, and in it we had mostly homeless residents and people with drug addiction and or trauma. And they would always call themselves generous and kind, which they were, but they would always do it downward. They could see the needs of people that were the same or less than theirs. They would always make sure this little cat that was outside was fat and fed and call themselves good at the end of the day. Meanwhile, they would take all the resources they could imagine from above us, from the staff, manager, from the owner, anything they could take, and give their problems up to all of us. The staff would do anything for the residents, go get clothes for them off of their personal closets and extra shoes. Manager would do anything for the staff and for the residents, extra clothes and extra raises wherever they could. And then the owner, who was in control of making sure everyone could financially afford to stay afloat, was responsible for the happiness of the manager, the wellness of the residents, all of the staff, etc., and then also a lot of boundaries. When you're at the top, your life becomes more about boundaries. Why would you want this? You need to be in places where you can give your problems to to people that don't say wow. So tell me about a close person in your life who didn't see your needs. Have you ever been treated by someone like you had endless abilities? And how does that feel? And likewise, take a moment. Have you ever seen people that were above you that you could see that they were being bad, or you could judge them, but you couldn't see their needs? They were too high beyond you. A lot of celebrities like this. You can't see what could be going on inside of that person because you think they're too high. It's a hard place to be in. The importance of learning power levels. Once you get this, when you really understand this, and you know when to be in which position and for whom to be in which position, your life's going to change completely. We're going to make it easy. Just start off. 51% of your circle needs to be big brothers and big sisters. And then less than that has to be little brothers and little sisters. And we'll go into that more. In the smaller group, when you are the big brother or big sister, you are the giver. It is an incredible role to be in. And you want half the people that you are giving to be people that are in growth or able to, and then less than that be people that you are just endlessly giving to if that's your choice. If you've got a dependent, if you've got someone you take care of, you need to leverage systems to make sure you're not the only one doing all the giving. Your life force will be taken from you. If it's short-lived, that's one thing, but that cannot be your lifestyle. And you have to give in places that where you're going to see somebody thrive, see somebody grow, see someone get better. And most of your life needs to be places where if you'd had a problem, you can actually authentically be yourself. So you want to stick to the middle of the totem pole and grow until you're at a higher level in the totem pole. Love and money are endless numbers. So numbers go till the end of time. Love and your ability to handle humans goes until the end of time, but you change. You'll get stronger and better at it. You'll get clarity and opportunity, balance in relationships. You'll understand after this lesson who you're getting manipulated and what it looks like and who to avoid. This is one of the most important things. You're pack loaded with defense systems. My son, when he plays soccer, they've gotten teams that they are way better than, that they get beaten by because it's defense that wins. Defense wins most sports. Defense wins most things in life. The ability to prevent yourself from getting around people that aren't the right ones for you will win with humans. Relationships are the number one indicator of a healthy life. You need to learn how to balance our energies with humans. If you don't learn this lesson, then you can be at the top of the totem pole and live lonely. If you want to, you can experience regret that you gave years to the wrong people and it slipped away. You can lose your identity. Once you're around people that are not at a higher growth level than you, then you're going to become more like them and your thoughts will be smaller. And you'll hear the word wow when you have problems. Stalled destiny, your true potential. This life is a short gift. Your true potential needs to be expressed. And authenticity comes with being able to be yourself. And being yourself means being vulnerable and being imperfect. And you just don't have every direction you can give that to. You have to have a different face when you're a big brother than a little brother, little sister, big sister. You might feel isolated. You might be exhausted and not getting anything back. But at the end of the day, you're calling yourself a good person, but you're giving it the wrong way. You will definitely lose money and opportunities, get edged out, exploited if you don't understand how to respect the big brothers and big sisters in your life, or if you've been too cocky because you try to compete with them. Bad behaviors around big brothers and big sisters. I'm a franchise owner and I start doing pretty good at it. They invite me to be at one of the franchise conferences and I get to run a team. So when I have all the franchise owners come my way from all across the country, I set them up. One group is going to present to the other. You get 5 minutes with someone who's stronger in the industry than you. Some of the people hadn't made $1 yet. So in those 5 minutes, you better believe a lot of the people who are sitting in front of a perfectly good big brother or big sister botched it. How did they botch it? Talk too much, try to prove yourself, compete, act cocky, don't know where you stand. When you're around a big brother or a big sister, know your place. Remember, you have two ears, one mouth. You compete with them instead of learning. You take advice, don't apply it. You're an asshole. You treat them like equals too soon. You're so happy they're giving you time. You're going for a relationship. No. When it's time to be vulnerable, you just take and listen. You pay them for your time. Everywhere I've gotten from my great mentors is because I paid for my time or earned it. If someone gave it to me without letting me pay them for it, then I would be really honorable. Like, to take that time so seriously and be honorable with that. Like, take it as the highest priority. There was I was in a situation maybe 3 weeks ago where someone comes into town and she was a potential big sister to me, someone more congruent in the area of business than myself, but exactly where I needed to be. And she message me a day before she's coming into my town that she might be here and I might get a few minutes. I had two other plans on the table, very important ones. Going to hang out with a buddy to go exercise, and then I had someone coming to work for me, which would be a little brother or little sister in this case, for a few hours. I messaged both the other people and I asked, can I reschedule with you? And I drove the what potential big sister to the airport with that time, like a servant. This was exactly the right move because that was the most important person. Treating them like equals too soon. Don't do it. Show humility. Be vulnerable. Accept that you have problems. Accept that you need help. Take the help. They like helping you the way you like helping others. Don't take that from others. What happens when you spend too much time with little brothers or little sisters? You will let them drain you, your time and energy, that will be taken from you. Never forget that this life was given to you first. And you are not here to just be everyone else's food. If you have children, you can honor that role that you're in, but you were not waiting around with your God given life for them to be born so you can give it to them. And that's the only thing you're here for. You were not waiting around to be a son or a daughter. You were here with special gifts and talents. You need to honor those, and that honors your higher power. You are not here waiting for a spouse to love you and go back and forth, and that's how you exist. You were here first. And so honor that time is valuable and precious and an expression of a specific gift that you might have. Many gifts. Don't solve every problem for them. That's what it's going to feel like when you're at the top of the pole. Give other people more capacity than is allowed. You're going to end up being burnout, feel hollow, exhausted, resentful. But instead, the right behaviors are enjoy the role, have an idea of how much you allow in of that, set clear boundaries and teach them how to solve issues, give from a place of overflow. If you're spending 51% of your personal time with big brothers or big sisters, you're going to be filled with like peace, love, safety, the ability to be vulnerable, and you're going to be working from a place of overflow. You'll feel strong and respect, be effective, you'll feel free, lighter. You're not going to be as guarded. You're going to be less lonely. Have a life that's balanced and sustainable. In the human body, if you pass on at the end, or say you don't make it all the way to the end, your body, which is given blood and nutrients to every inch of you, down to the tips of your toes, and grows your eyebrow hairs, and down to your knee pit, is resources flowing through your body, nutrients, blood, oxygen. When you're passing, your body will pull back from those extra extremities. It knows what you don't need. Those fingers and toes aren't as important as those big organs. It's called modeling. In the same way, when you're going through a hard time, you need to let go of the extra people you're taking care of that can't give anything back. There's some things that aren't needed right then. You being taking care of others is not always needed. And understand that most people don't have the same boundaries as you do. So if you're surrounded by little brothers and little sisters and you're at the top of the totem pole, then you might have things asked of you that you return to others. Can you do this for me? And they cannot give it to you. So most people are operating on -1. They don't have enough for themselves, especially if they're coming to you with all their problems. They're at a -1. Many people live this way. It's the majority of the planet. Some people will get to a 1. They can just take care of themselves. Thank God they can take care of themselves. They are exactly what they should be doing. And some people that are average, they can have a capacity for, let's say, 5. They can expand out. Maybe they're really on top of extra parts of them. They're really on top of their health. They're really on top of their time schedules. They can manage screen time. This is somebody, if they're operating at like a +5 in capacity, that if they've got one spot open because they're super on point with their health, you can ask something of them. There's a spot for that. It's not going to ever be with someone who's at a -1. It'll be at someone who's got extra spots. And a super above average person, someone exceptional, they might have the capacity for 12. They've got kids. They've got the muscle for taking care of a spouse. They're used to a team. They think of it like this. You can ask something of someone like that and know that they're competent, can handle it, and they'll probably tell you no if they can't. Hopefully, will tell you no if they can't. But you can't expect, well, I remembered so-and-so's birthdays, so they should remember my birthday. No, people are different. They have different levels. And if you're surrounded by mostly little brothers and little sisters, they're not going to remember you the same. They can't. So get over that. Boundaries in this life. We've got so much more than we used to. Bless our souls. Like media, auto pay, anything to get your attention in this life. Aggressiveness. Our country, they kind of take from us from all ends. There's a lot of envy of the US. We have to watch out. So we have to watch our finances, health, food. There's more information than there ever was. So we all have a little bit less than we did. And individuals who are at different levels of the societal structure, they have to do twice as much boundaries. Women have to put up way more boundaries than men do for safety purposes, etc. So we're not at the same capacity. And individuals, people of color, people that society in any way, shape, or form has decided deserves to be judged, they've got to hold up more boundaries than the average Joe. So we be very gentle and kind with this awareness, and we honor ourselves as big brothers and big sisters that we are. Take that role seriously. Here's a picture of baby birds. I love this. So who has the power in this situation? Here I've got a mama bird and a bunch of baby birds in the nest. The baby bird just cries, ah, and everybody comes around to take care of whatever his needs are. It looks like, to me, like baby birds kind of have the power, but they don't. It's the mama bird. She can fly wherever she wants. And just know, if any random bird lands on that nest, the baby birds are going to cry and squawk for her. Don't be a baby bird. Does this make you a good person? I'm showing an image, and it's got a caterpillar being eaten alive by ants. Don't feel like just because you're giving endlessly, you're good. You're not. You're being foolish. You have to reel it back. As soon as those ants are done eating this caterpillar, they're just going to move on to the next caterpillar. So here's how to give the right way. First of all, giving is very healthy. It's a necessity. It's important to create these alignments. It makes you a better person. So giving is a good thing. We just have to do it in a balanced way. We need to do it. We have to be a big brother ourselves. It actually protects against depression to give. This is why you're addicted to doing it. You love calling yourself a good person. You love being a hero. It increases your longevity, resilience, makes you feel alive and connected. And taking care of others is one of the most direct paths to taking care of yourself. So when we do give, we get dopamine, which is a reward hormone. Every time you help somebody, the brain doses dopamine. It's the same chemical that fires when you accomplish your goal. And it fires when you participate in anticipation feeling, the vibe of anticipation of something good, like about to receive an important text, something like that. Creates a rush of satisfaction, makes you want to repeat the behavior. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, serotonin, which you take, there's meds out there to give people serotonin so they can feel happy. It gives you this naturally by giving. Endorphins, which you get from going to the gym, like wonderful painkillers. I want to talk again about what we do as a big brother, big sister to never ever punch down. When I go to Zoom meetings, they have this thing where you can put a he, she, or they Sometimes I'll hear people complain about that. Some people go on videos and rant about that. What they don't understand is that there's people that have to hold up much more boundaries in this life than them. And it is a painful, much more painful experience to add to that. So you need to knock it off. You need to know that if you're at a higher level in any way, shape, or form, and you think that you can just judge for the sake of it, you're not allowed to. You have to say, this is my post. I see myself as a big brother in this place, and I have to make it safe for others. The world is full of people in media right now making sure that in America at least, people of color are strongly represented. They're on the television. There's interracial marriages. There's men and men married, women and women married. The reason they do this is because they're benevolent big brothers and big sisters. It takes nothing to just say, you're invited, you're accepted, you're welcome. And I understand that it takes everyone to understand your needs in order for us to be a healthy society. And that there's no prize for taking you down. So small, in my building, the smaller minority women were the most difficult. Their capacity for love was very low because, not all of them, many of them, because love works that way. You walk around with a love tank, and when you've got it operating at a certain level, it's like a old battery almost. It only holds so much charge and then it quits. Then any extra you add to it, someone will throw it back in your face. You don't want the pain of the high defensive environment you're in. When I would interview people, they might talk about all the pains in their life and all the bad things that have happened to them. And yes, I noticed it more in groups that out here would be more marginalized. And that wasn't fair. It's not, someone shouldn't just have to constantly overcompensate. You have to understand that their drive to come and visit you for an interview involved more people looking at them then they would look at you like with distrust. You can't add to this, but you have to understand that you could be envied or treated like you're going to make them put up more defense systems without intending to. So we just take the benevolent approach and we never knock them, ever, especially not in groups. Men in a group of men don't knock on women because we got it harder. Women and men, any of them, should not knock on groups that are having a harder time because someone's already knocking them a bunch of times. And when you do that, then it hurts their capacity for love and regenerating love. And if you do that, then you're going to end up with more problems in your life. When I'd have an employee that I would hire and they had a low capacity for praise or goodness, they throw it back in your face. And there's nothing you could do. When we'd have homeless people and their capacity for love was really low because they had been kicked out of the world 50 times. There's no amount of love I could give them because their threshold for it was too low. It was always like trying to fill up a water glass, and if you go an inch above what someone's comfortable with, they're going to throw it in your face. They will try to hurt you, ruin your life, complain about everything. It's extremely uncomfortable for them to receive love because the world has given them so little and they're used to that level and it's uncomfortable. So we have to raise our level from within, but we don't hurt other people with that. Don't judge them, make it harder. Never do it.
Okay, so let's talk about big brother and big sister and regenerating love and little brother and little sister. Regenerating love are relationships that go back and forth. They're the fewest. Most of your big brothers and big sisters, 51%, should be who you spend your personal time with, and little brothers and little sisters should be less than half of your time, your personal time. And half of that group, where you're the big brother or big sister, should be people that are in growth, not people that just need to, they're baby birds and they have needs, and it'll be no matter where they go, they need the help. Regenerating love, when you can go back and forth, is a rarity. So, when can you elevate to another level with your big brothers and big sisters and be equals to them so that you can have these regenerating love relationships if they choose to let you have that with them? Understanding that they don't need you, you need them. So when you start to see their need, that's a regenerating love possibility. And when you see how much work goes into things and you really start to understand that and be willing to do that work, whatever they had to do to get there, you're going to do it. Then it's time for you to go from one island to the next. And making a shift like that is exactly that. It's as hard of work as seeing a new location, leaving where you're at and everything you're comfortable with, swimming across to another island, and then hoping you make it without drowning, and then thriving somewhere else. It's a big move. It's okay though. It's okay. It's worth it. And if you want to be at the same level as your big brother and big sister, know the difference between someone who is cultivating you and cares like an oak tree, they want to protect you from the shade, and someone who's envious to you. We're, as humans, we do behaviors of competing constantly. It's in our nature, and we can evoke that feeling of competition by having too much bravado when we're around a big brother or big sister. And we don't want that. We're not trying to have them compete with us. We're trying to respect them and their space. You don't take their clients ever. You don't do anything that is dishonest around them. You respect the space you're in, and you preserve that thing that they've done for you for life. Now, people can sometimes mistake people who are like very difficult or self-righteous individuals as a big brother, big sister because they seem more congruent. This might be an expert. If they don't care about you getting, like, they don't want to see you, they're not just trying to chisel you down, they want to see you go up. That's who you want a relationship with. The rest can be experts. You need to get chiseled. It's important that you have an expert tell you screwed up on something. It's important for your doctor to say your health is bad, but you don't want a relationship with your doctor. They're not your big brother, big sister. So that's an expert. You pay them for your time, you thank for your time, you move on. But if you get these friendships, you're great. Everywhere I'm at in life is because I've had a mentor and they've gotten me there by some blessed luck. And I've had people that didn't want to take on the role of nurturing me to get where I needed to go. And there's some that I didn't get to keep as a big brother, big sister. They were just an expert. But my best friend in this life, she's someone who mentored me when I was 23, at my first corporate job downtown, when I nailed my internship and back when I'm, doing social work. She's my mentor for life. The fact that I got to be so vulnerable around her, it's the best feeling in the world. My rehab, I had a wonderful mentor for that, for doing my wellness setting, mentor all the way. And I start by offering money. I'm gonna pay you for your time because I respect it. Like thousands of dollars to be up at that level. It's what it's worth. And I would never do anything to hurt them or badmouth them or say anything difficult about them. And they don't want that for me either. So that's regenerating love relationship. And I had one mentor I tried, I wanted to be friends, and it wasn't in the cards. They didn't need me and they wanted me right where I was at, but they wanted good for me. So I'm grateful for that, and I don't be mad at them ever. I don't, they don't need you. Don't interfere with people's lives. Know that you're the one being needy. Even if you think you did nice thing A, B, and C to a big brother or big sister, doesn't mean they owe you anything for that. They're looking the other way. They're not paying attention to you. Some people think because they're looking these levels that people have that they're surrounded by narcissists. Chances are a narcissist someone is a real diagnosis and it's an awful thing, and they're the worst. And we're going to get more and more of them as we're more self-absorbed in this life because of all the boundaries I have to put up. But they're misunderstood too. Sometimes people will call a narcissist that is not a narcissist in multiple settings. A narcissist has to be a narcissist in multiple settings to really be one. But if you're at a lower power level than someone and they ignore you and they're not empathetic towards your needs, not paying attention to you, it's because they're focused on something else. That's all it could be is you're on a different power level. Sometimes people mistake this. Also, people can misunderstand that it's expert. You don't need to have your experts be a regenerating love relationship. You go to your doctor, he tells you you're eating crappy food, he doesn't have to be a friend of yours. You're grateful for that, and you pay him for his time. You respect it. And he might be horrible about giving you relationship advice. He's congruent in one area. Once, when I'm a mom, I had 3 sons. I had an 8-year gap between the first and the second. And I was so Captain Clueless. I wanted to do the organic cloth diaper thing, baby food thing for the second child, and have a lot of attachment focus. So I started a PTA at my kids' school so I could meet the mommies, and then went to those moms and treated them like the big sisters they were. The women sometimes had less education than me. I didn't care. I was a humble pie about being around them. All I wanted was for them to let me in their lives just enough to become a good mom. And I was so grateful that I was accepted because I could have not been. And I got to have the experience I wanted. But I was the little sister. Didn't matter that I'm older. Didn't matter that I'd had a kid for much years longer. I'm doing something I've never done before. And I need to be very humble about being their little sister, not give them too much of my problems. And when I'm there to learn the ways I wanted to be a mom, the things I wanted to do with like a lot of attachment, I'm whatever I can do for you. Like I'll help with your kid's birthday party. I'll do whatever it takes, and I'll try to understand that my role is like learning and not be a big baby about things. So with little brothers and little sisters, when you have a little brother or little sister you would consider being friends with, I personally, I wait like a year before I have that relationship with them. People don't know anything about me until they've known me a really long time. If I'm being good, if I see you're at that level too much too soon, then I'm only going to do you a disservice. And I've had that happen before. I've gotten too chummy and not honored that my role as a big brother and big sister requires me to put myself second. That's why you can't do it all the time, because you got to be second and you can't be authentic. You have to hide yourself a bit, in my experience. And so people want to come and spend time with me. They want to be friends with me. That's all well and good, but I'm not looking for them to solve my problems. I might complain about my day, but I'm not, if I talk about it, it's not in an effort. It's not because I need them. I don't. So they want to be up at my level. They do start noticing my needs. They see things differently. And maybe maybe they are ready to cross the island to being where I'm at. They want some mentorship or help from me. Then if I can see that they are good people, they're not envious or try to backstab, I'm good. I might have a regenerating love relationship with them, and that's the best. Or you can really let your guard down, but you can't do it with everyone, unfortunately.
So I have a picture here, and it's got all these little kids, and they're telling Santa Claus what their list is. So who has the power? Little kids on Christmas with a list. Here you go. Well, it's not the kids. It's Santa Claus. Santa Claus cannot show up. And we know that there's a team behind Santa as well. In this scenario, there is a bunch of people who are the kids with the list. And one of the kids with the list realizes that there's a team behind Santa Claus. He notices there's some different behaviors. So the second that he notices, this is where the veil is lifted. And it's a time for him to immediately start swimming to the new island called Becoming Santa Claus. He needs to join the team of who's doing the work now that he sees the need is there, and he becomes on the Team Santa Claus team. And so then I do show, like, if you could picture this in your mind, here is the new person lightening the burden for the other people playing Santa Claus, and he's the big brother that now gets to take care of his little brothers and sisters for life. So we become Santa Claus. Okay, who's not a good big brother? Anybody who doesn't want you to do well is not a big brother, big sister. You don't try to create a regenerating love relationship with them or consider them that. They're a mentor or an expert. Some people love being certain and they enjoy it and they're there to chisel you, and it's good for you too sometimes, but to have a long-standing relationship is different. When you've done what you need to do, you pay this expert and then you move along. And if you need them again, you go back for that. They're not good for you just because they're a chiseler. Just because they can cut you down doesn't mean that they're stronger than you, better than you, or smarter than you. Let them have that one part of you. Now I want for you to write a list of all the people you spend time with in your personal life. And when you get done, I want you to notice, who do you give your problems to with an expectation that they solve them? And who gives you their problems with an expectation for you to solve them? And also answer this question: do you have a few people in your relationships that are regenerating love, where it truly goes back and forth. Remember, the outcome of this whole part is 51% of your personal life needs to be big brothers and big sisters. You want to have a life with regenerating love. You do need to honor the part of you that needs to give, but who you give to, you must be particular. And if you choose to be giving, then half of those people that you're a big brother and a big sister to, they need to be people in growth, and you need to ward off all signs of people who you think are big brothers and big sisters that are there to cut you down and chisel you, but it looks like strict help. That's not people that care about you. And you're there to cut out people that envy you and want bad for you because they think you should be lower. Think of this. People, as you climb, most people will think they have told themselves 1,000 reasons why they couldn't climb. So because they've told themselves 1,000 reasons why they couldn't climb, they're full of reasons why they couldn't climb, and they're going to project that on you because that's what comes out of them. If you shake, rattle, and roll them, they believe that's what's going to come out of their mouth. You're living wrong. What are you doing trying to get off this island and go to another one? It's unsafe and dangerous out there. So you can't give them your problems wisely, and they cannot see your needs. And when someone has decided that you're above them or more congruent than them, and they've assigned power to you, because all of this is an energetic assignment, right? There's no actual way that two other people, based on based on what I've told you, there's not really, it's not like it's clear. This is the first time you're understanding this. So this is not easy to spot. But based on that, when someone thinks you have more than them, they think have everything. That's what they think. If they see you as more capable and you've done something that looked really good and easy to them, then depending on how much lower they are on you and congruence and their power level, what they think is possible, they think that what you've done, like, you're really special, but that won't accept you as a normal human. That's not how that works. So when they find out that that's what you are, they want you lower. And so get people, like, move a couple levels away if you need to, because understand that that's human nature. And I want you also understanding the need to compete, that humans have that in them, that you have that in you, that you'll naturally walk up to a perfectly good mentor, big brother, big sister, not notice what they are because you've now taken this class and you can notice them, and you're going to try to compete. So you need to stop that immediately and be wiser. So I wish you the best and do good with this.